This is a film that is kind of interesting to me simply because I don't know where it sort of, I guess, came from, but this is such a cool idea. And if it's like just whatever the brain of the collaboration of the directors and the writers, their names are Scott Beck and Brian Woods. If it's just something that's just coming out of their mind, then I just hope for nothing but the best for these guys. These guys have such a good track record so far in the last 5 years. Like, here's what they're part of in the last 5 years. They helped write the screenplay with John Krasinski for the first A Quiet Place. They were the writers and directors for a movie called Haunt, which was produced by Eli Roth, who is huge in the horror industry as well. They also have this new film that's coming out, I think later this year, called The Boogeyman, which I think is based on a Stephen King short story. And this film, 65, which is just so bizarre and so, like, such an interesting concept that I have a really deep appreciation for really good writing and really unique writing. And I feel like this story is really unique, to me at least. So, what is it essentially? 65 is a film that tells the story of a voyage that a planet with a certain amount of humans takes from their planet through the solar system. They're trying to get somewhere else, and essentially they go through an asteroid field and they crash land on Earth. And they crash land on Earth 65 million years ago. So these are meant to be the first people that walked the Earth. So what happens is that this guy has a cabin. It's got like 24 people in it. And he winds up being the only survivor. He's the pilot. It's played by Adam Driver. And he winds up having this little girl also survive as well. Now, she's there with her parents. Both her parents are dead. She doesn't speak English. She speaks a language that's native to the planet they come from. Now, remember that little portion is that everybody's dead. They come from a different planet that has different languages. And this is a guy who only speaks the one language, which is essentially English. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to survive. And they discover on that planet are all these creatures that are essentially interesting concepts behind dinosaurs. So it's Earth 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs roamed the Earth. Now, within like the 24 hours he's there for, there's the discovery that asteroid field that his ship hit is now sending asteroids to Earth, and a huge one is coming, and his computers are able to tell that it's basically a global destroyer, and that's going to be what wipes out the dinosaurs. So he's got to get this little girl to the only escape pod he can find, which is on top of a mountain that's miles away, and he's got to trek through this dinosaur-infested planet, which, mind you, he doesn't know that they don't call them anything. They don't name them anything. We, as the viewer, know that this is a concept behind dinosaurs, but he's just seeing a bunch of vicious creatures that want to kill him. So he's trying to make it through there to the escape pod so they can leave the planet before it's blown up by the meteor. What's even better about this is just a lot of the background stuff. It's a lot of the underlining writing of the environment and the story it's setting up that kind of it'll push you forward in a certain way to allow you to kind of get to a point of thinking where you're not realizing it until somebody else points it out or until you actually do come to the conclusion yourself. So picture this: 65 million years ago, and there's this other planet they're trying to escape, and they're trying to get to this other planet that isn't even Earth. They're just passing Earth by, and they discover Earth accidentally as another planet in a solar system they don't know, because that's light years away from the planet they come from, and everybody dies except for these two people. But you're talking about there at least being 30 other people on that plane, and all of their bodies and all of their corpses are all still on that planet when the meteor hits. So you're talking, this goes into another idea of just evolution. It's just a really, again, it's fiction. So it's just, you think about that. You think about, they left all these corpses there, and then the planet was hit by the meteor. So evolution is also something they're kind of talking about. And how did that evolution start? This plane crash. We are humans, but we come from a different world. And I've always loved that concept of, we were all brought here from, millions of different planets that all decided to put us into this melting pot and see what we did, because that's the only reason why we all have different languages and different skin tones and different blood types. We just come from different planets filled with different styled humans, and this is how we're able to sort of meld together, and we're sort of an experiment. But this is not saying that we're an experiment. This is just saying that we were an accident. That's essentially what this is saying, is that human beings on this particular planet was an accident, which is really cool, to me at least. Now, I know that this doesn't get a lot of, any attention. It's not really... It doesn't have the best ratings. It's not highly anticipated by many people. It was just a really random Adam Driver film to a lot of people. It's got very much mixed reviews across the board. I think it's got like 35% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. It's not the best film in the world. I'm not even sitting here trying to make it sound like the best film in the world. I'm just saying that as a person who loves films, I found a certain appreciation for the storytelling that these guys were trying to do. And now that I know that this writer-director team of Scott Beck and Brian Woods, I'm now more appreciative of that factor as well, and this just makes me want to follow them more. It makes me want to see more of what they're going to do. I don't see them on the bill for the second Quiet Place or even the new Quiet Place that's going to be coming out. But I do know The Boogeyman is meant to be really good. It looks really good. And besides 65, A Quiet Place is a tremendous film. Haunt is really good for anybody who's a real diehard horror movie fan. Haunt is a great film. And I just feel like 65 is just right there for me. It's just 3 good films back to back within at least the last 5 years, and possibly a fourth if The Boogeyman winds up being good. So really, it's appreciating these guys as writers. And I appreciate what I feel is good writing. And to me, just this idea, without needing to kind of bash it for being different, just the idea of being, unique in a way and having something different to bring to the table, I feel like these guys do. And I'm going to watch the rest of their stuff. And I hope they keep writing and they keep directing and they keep producing and they make more films. And, if you haven't seen 65, it just came out a couple of weeks ago. Give it a shot. It's worth it to me. To me, it is. Like, it's a good film just for being a movie. It's just a movie, and it's done to enjoy. I'm not going to rewatch it. I'll tell you that much. I'm not going to rewatch it. It's not a film that you return to in any shape or form. It's just a film that you enjoy for what it is. And then, you talk about it randomly. It pops up in a conversation. If you're talking about dinosaurs. Hey, did you ever see 65? Maybe they haven't. Not many people saw this movie. I think I'm a very random person who actually did decide that this movie was worth it.